Projeter MT Lashaya, Previa, Janela.
Galera, feliz sexta-feira no canal do YouTube. Tô gravando isso aqui na madrugada.
Hello everyone and welcome to the very first Frontier Unlocked. I am Arthur, I'm one of your community team, and I'm joined by the wonderful Holly Bennett. Holly, welcome to the show and the new set, Holly.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. I know this is sort of my first time doing anything for Frontier like this. You're usually, you know, you're the superstar, so
I mean,
I'm here to be your glamorous assistant for this show.
Right, well, I mean, we all know that's not true, but thank you for coming along and adding some class to the show.
I really wouldn't go that far.
But thank you everyone for tuning in. We can see the chat is already going off sort of rapido already. So hello to everyone in the chat. Hello to all of our Frontier family that are in the chat. So the commanders, the zookeepers, the coaster people. Coaster people, is that a real thing?
They must be. We'll find something for them.
We'll find a term for you. But welcome one and all. Thanks for tuning in. So this is Frontier Unlocked. It's a sort of new segment for us. So Holly, do you want to tell everyone that's tuned in what Frontier Unlocked is and why we're doing the show this way?
Yeah, so Frontier Unlocked is the new monthly show from us here at Frontier. So this will be taking place at 6 p.m. UK time on the last Wednesday of every month. So we're starting this month, but it's all about taking the great games we have and creating one show that celebrates everything that we do here at Frontier. We're hoping to bring you deep dives, answer your questions, give you news, first looks, competitions, Twitch drops, pretty much anything we can, and packing it into a show that is dedicated to everything Frontier.
There we go. So it's bringing all of our Frontier family under one roof so you can have a look at everything. And we're super keen to make sure to maximise your time watching. So we're going to have lots of news for you. You've mentioned prizes. Should we talk about some of the prizes before we go on to anything else?
Yeah, we actually should. We're going to have a big welcome competition, I think, is what we need.
It's our first Unlocked, and it's we're really positive about this year. There's a lot of stuff to talk about, which we'll come on to in a second, but there are lots of prizes, and we're going to talk about the mechanic in a minute, but if you're tuning in, there are some things. Now, Holly's going to help me out here, because my giant clam hands, if I start trying to open any of this stuff up, it's going to break. But we've got lots of different bits and bobs. We have a mechanical keyboard to be won from our F1 game. You can see it on the shelf, but Holly's going to open it up for you here.
We only made 100 of these, and I believe this might actually be one of the last ones that we have left.
Okay.
So
there it is. So we've got a mechanical keyboard. We've got some pin badges, which I'll reach over. We've got some Planet Coaster, Planet Zoo, and of course, Elite Dangerous pin badges. We have a Planet Zoo water bottle. We have a Corsair camouflaged headset. Now, I normally do this as a joke that because it's camouflaged, you can't see it, but I can't do that joke anymore. But it's right here. It works on everything. It's a really cool headset. So that's there. Holly, what have you got in your hand there?
Yeah, this is actually a special kit we made for the launch of Chaos Gate Demon Hunters. So if you open it up inside, it's got several layers. It's got all the paints you need. It's got figurines. If you wanted a new addiction and you wanted to get into painting Warhammer figurines, then you want this. This was, again, I think we made about 100 of these.
I know.
They were never available.
Yeah, there is only 2 of those left. There are
You're
only.
like, but there's only 1 of these left.
Yeah, there's only 1 left, Holly. We've also got a Planet Zoo cap and Elite Dangerous beanie. But that's not all. We're also giving away this incredible gauntlet and to celebrate our first show. This bad boy.
I was the glamorous assistant.
It's a 31.5-inch 4K UHD monitor. So all of this can be won. I was going to make a joke and say that producer Adam's done a wonderful job with the set, but really scrimped on this tiny prize table. But in fairness, you weren't going to be fitting that monitor on there anyway. So all of those prizes can be won by one person as a celebration. There'll be prizes every show, but this is our opening show, so we thought we'd go a little bit.
I thought we go big. I think let's set the tone. We have a nice big prize pool.
So in order to find out how to win, stay tuned, because we will be telling you how to win this throughout some point during the show.
Some point during the show. Basically, we would really like if you stayed around. So we're going to try and lure you in with some prizes.
Swag. Right, you also mentioned Twitch drops, Holly. So do you want to explain how these work? Because I always get confused when I talk about Twitch drops. It's a running joke that I could never do it. So over to you.
Yeah, we do have Twitch drops active right now. We're actually giving away some elite Twitch drops. These are the iceberg skins. These are brand new, and these are the first time they've been available. You need to watch 20 minutes, I believe, and that will unlock all 4 skins in one go, which I think is a pretty good deal.
It's not bad.
It's actually why I think we're live streaming under the Elite category, and it is so that we can give away Twitch drops. But yeah, we have some Elite Twitch drops available for you today, and I believe these are live right now. So while you're watching, you are earning them.
Yep, so there you go, Elite players, you have it there. And Elite players, stay tuned. There's some news for you later on, which we'll go into.
There's a lot of news for the Elite players.
There's a little bit.
It's a good time. It's a good time to feast.
It's a good time to be a Frontier fan. Speaking of which, it's a really big year for us. So I'm going to give an overview of sort of a brief look at the year ahead for Frontier. It's a big year for us. Obviously, we're celebrating 30 years of Frontier, which is great. So it's nice to, it's a long time, 3 decades.
Yes, it is. It is. Thank you.
Yeah, there is, yeah. But also, we've got a lot of stuff coming up this year. We had some great news at the start of the year. Obviously, we're bringing Chaos Gate to console. It was a big ask. And then yesterday...
Talking of big asks.
Big asks, we announced Planet Zoo is coming to console. Now, we all know, on all the various teams, whenever a post we get out for Zoo, what's the number 1 request?
Oh, when's it coming to console?
When's it coming to console?
Like, every comment.
Every comment. Well, now you know. So now you know where it's coming. And we're going to have a look at Planet Zoo a little bit later on with one of the team from Planet Zoo, which is really, really cool to come in. But so pleased to see that is also coming to consoles. I mean, only January.
Yeah.
All this news in January.
Yep. Already starting off with two game announcements with Chaos Gate console and Planet Zoo console.
January has been the longest January in history.
I'm pretty sure tomorrow is the 32nd of January.
Yes,
that's how long this month has
It's
been.
never going to end. 2024 will just be January, and then it'll just be 2025. However, if it carries on like this, it's good news, and it will, because we have some more great news coming up this year for our Frontier fans, amongst other DLCs and bits that will come along in due course. But we have the return of Formula 1 manager who's coming back, so really excited for our Formula 1 fans.
I'm a big Formula 1 fan. This is definitely one for me.
Yep, so we'll be speaking to those guys closer to the time to find out what's new and different and exciting for those. But it's going to be a good one. And then also, for those of you that have been paying close attention to some of our announcements, there is another title that's coming out, and we've said financial year 25. Now that's boring speak,
that's big marketing.
And
speak.
in fairness, if you the execs may speak to me, they know I don't understand any of that stuff. I just go straight over my head. But
it's a tall head as well. Like it's got to go pretty high.
Yeah, it's got to go. But what I can tell you about this game is A, it's really cool, right? B, you're gonna love it. C, Scrap 2025 is coming out this year, because financial 25 could mean this year or next if you look at financial years, but it's coming out this year. We're going to announce it and we're going to release it this year. Yes. We are very, very excited about it. We can't wait to talk more about it. We will talk more about it on this show. That's the exact mechanic for this show. I know people want us to say what it is right now, but now's the time for Zoo to shine, because Zoo is really, really, like, what they're doing for the console release of Zoo is really, really cool. But there'll be plenty of time for us to feast on this title later on in the year. But we're really, really excited for it, and I know you will be too. So that's by and large the year for Frontier. But there's a lot of celebration as well. Obviously, we do know it's well, I think it's right. It's 40 years of Elite.
Yeah.
30 years of Frontier.
Yes.
10 years of Elite Dangerous. So it's a lot of celebrations, a lot of cake. I mean, and obviously, as a man of my stature,
just a little nibble.
We've got bigger sofas now. I need to fill them. So I'm just going to eat that cake and just spread myself across this sofa as the year goes on. You'll see me just getting wider and wider and wider. Right. That's enough of that. So we've talked about the show is, when it is. We've talked about Twitch drops. We've talked about the prizes. Yep. Pay attention. We'll tell you how you're going to win those. We've talked about what's up for the year ahead. I guess we should start talking about Planet Zoo. Now, we're going to have someone on.
Yeah.
But in order to get our first guest on, we're going to play the trailer. So in case you missed it, here is the trailer for Planet Zoo coming to consoles on March 26th. Yep. Enjoy.
Configurazione video anteriore, numero 3. De 3 para ser de domingo, era com elemento, galera.
And there it is. Planet Zoo is coming to console on March 26, available digitally for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X. Now, we know that when we announced this yesterday, we had lots of excitement, but there were some questions as well. So I've invited Tom to join us on the very first episode of Frontier Unlocked to tell us a little bit more about Planet Zoo console and also answer some of the most popular questions that I've seen as well.
Definitely.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hello. Yeah, thank you so much for having me on the stream. This is very exciting, the first one. Yeah, I'm Tom. I'm the product manager on Planet Zoo Console Edition. So yeah, I get to work with all of the teams and sort of plan out how we're going to announce, what we're doing between announce and launch onwards, all that great stuff. So yeah, I say it's my job. I feel very lucky to be able to do this. I love this game. So yeah.
You got to work with the creative services team to make that trailer. And,
yes.
and if you are maybe new to Planet Zoo and watching this, trailers for Planet Zoo are one of my favourite things because they are pure, sheer joy.
Truly.
That might be one of my favourite ones.
It
The Lemur
really is, yeah.
it just, to me, that just embodies everything that Planet Zoo
Yeah,
really
definitely.
is.
We wanted to as well, like throw back a little bit to Planet Coaster console with that little intro where they're pressing the button and the environment's changing around. So yeah, we had a lot of fun with that trailer. It was great.
Okay, so let's get into a little bit about the console edition first before we jump into community questions. So,
Sexta.
is this the same game
No,
as people have been playing on PC?
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Yes.
I can answer that question.
Yes, there you go. Yes, so the great
Sábado,
PC game, we've brought that over to a console. So obviously all of the things that you would expect in there from all of the different modes, like career mode, challenge mode, franchise mode, sandbox mode, all of that stuff is coming across the console. And obviously with, you know, a new control system, so you can actually use a gamepad. So, you know, the intuitive controls, so you can build your dream zoo and make it really detailed and beautiful and stuff with a gamepad. So, yeah.
What about the free updates? Because one of the great things about what we kind of do here at Frontier is when we do have DLC packs, there's these free updates. And they're not just like, oh, we fixed some bugs. They're content, they're tools and features. Are they coming over as well?
Yes, they are.
See what I'm leading you into here?
Yes. So obviously, yeah, like you said, the team has done such a good job over the years of making Planet Zoo what it is now with all these great features and free updates, and that stuff is coming across. There's going to be over 4 years worth of free feature updates in the game on day one. So players that are picking it up on day one, they're getting a lot of content in that base game, like a lot of stuff there. Some of my favourite stuff being the brachiation, for example, for the orangutans, and sort of 2 updates ago, that's going to be there. The domes, that's going to be there. The camera tools, that's going to be there.
So if you want to be pro, like make pro little videos and show off anything you build, the incredible tools. Actually, the same tools that our capture artists use when they're making trailers here at Frontier. You have access to exactly the same tools, all just in there.
Exactly, yeah. So yeah, there's a lot in there at day one. Obviously, you can see through these screenshots. I mean, the game looks beautiful.
Yeah, the screenshots you're seeing, these aren't PC screenshots. These are screenshots taken from the console edition of Planet Zoo.
Yeah, they look fantastic.
So if someone is looking to pick this up, either on launch day or pre-order, what kind of options are there? Because there were some questions around different editions and different things, and probably a good idea to explain a bit.
Yeah, so we've got a few editions. So obviously you've got the standard edition, which will give you the great base game and all that content that we were just talking about. If you pre-order any of the editions, you will get the exclusive animals at launch. So you'll get the Thompson Gazelle, the Pygmy Hippopotamus, and the Komodo Dragon. In addition to that, there is also a deluxe edition as well, and that actually gives you 16 extra animals and 2 campaign scenarios for you to play through. And for those that will know, they are from the Southeast Asia and Wetlands packs as well. So the capybara, one of my favourites, that's in the deluxe edition there. And don't worry, if you pick up the standard edition and you want to get the deluxe content later after launch, you can do that. There is a pack that you'll be able to upgrade. And then there is the Ultimate Edition, and the Ultimate Edition gives you all of the deluxe content, including the Planet Zoo Season Pass.
Yeah, so let's talk about that then. Let's talk about the DLC, because there has been a lot of DLC for Planet Zoo on PC. Should we maybe talk a little bit about, you know, how that will work for console players?
Yeah, of course. So obviously there's been, like you said, 16 great DLCs for Planet Zoo.
I'm trying to think how many of them I've worked on, and I've only been here a fraction of the time that some people have, and even I lose count, and I'm like, and now I'm on the capybara, and now it's this, and...
Yeah, so 2 of those are going to be in the deluxe edition, like I said, and then for the other 14, if you get the season pass from launch, between launch and March of next year, so March 2025, we will be releasing those paid DLCs. So if you get the season pass, you will get them like as they launch straight away. You don't have to buy them again, because that's why you got the season pass. And that's not to say if you don't get the season pass, that's fine. You can still get those DLCs. But yeah, like I said, between launch and March of next year, we will be periodically releasing those DLCs.
Everything
So yeah,
will be there. Perfect. Now, before we move on to maybe some of the more community-based questions, we do have, this is a first for us, is actual gameplay. These are some short videos to whet your appetite, because we will feature live gameplay in the next episode of Frontier Unlocked. But we do have some short gameplay clips of actually the pre-order animals to take a look at, and some other bits as well. Bits that didn't maybe make it into a trailer.
Yes, so yeah, the team has been working hard on obviously some trailers and some videos that you guys will be seeing, you know, over the next coming weeks in the run-up to launch. And these were just a couple of the bonus shots that we just thought we'd show. Here it is running live in the game. Obviously, you know, the team has done such a good job at bringing it to console, and yeah, we just wanted to show you that. Look, here it is real, it's running, it works, and it looks great as well.
It really does.
And yeah, these are the pre-order animals. So obviously we've got the pygmy, and then we've got a couple other shots of the other 2. But as you can see, you know, with the UI and how it runs and stuff, it's looking fantastic. And yeah, I can't wait for players to get in. It's going to be great.
Planet Zoo is posy vibes. That's
Big
what we're here for.
vibes,
That is what we're here for.
And the Thompson's Gazelle, and then obviously, yeah, all of the scenery. I mean, I think that's one of the things that I enjoy most about Planet Zoo. Is just there's so much variety that every other screenshot looks completely different in terms of the size of the zoo or the location or the biome or stuff like that. So yeah.
Right, so some of these community questions that I've found over the last few days. Let's start with talking about the Zoo Complexity Meter. Now, anyone who's played Planet Coaster Console Edition will remember the Oswald meter. This is kind of similar, but let's kind of talk about what it means for this console edition.
Yep, so yeah, quite simply put, for console, it just, to ensure smooth performance while you're playing, and you're obviously building these huge zoos and sort of expanding out and stuff, this meter will increase. And the more stuff that you add in, the higher the meter will get, and eventually it will sort of hit point. But we do actually have a screenshot.
Yeah, because this game is coming out current gen, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, March 26th. But we do kind of want to show people, give you some idea, that complexity meter of the range of what you can do with it.
So this is obviously a super detailed zoo already. And this is just 21% in that meter. So this will give you kind of an idea of how much you can actually build in these zoos. And yeah, you can really go to town with scenery and sort of expanding them and making them as detailed as you like, sort of thing. So yeah.
Well, talk about being creative then. If anyone has played Planet Zoo on PC, the Steam Workshop is filled with some of the most talented designs. They're unbelievable stuff, and it's actually one of the joys of working with our Planet Zoo creators is seeing what they make. How does that going to work on console? console?
So it is going to be on console with the Frontier Workshop. So the Frontier Workshop is console cross-platform. So you will be able to build your own buildings and facilities and zoos and upload those to the Frontier Workshop, and then your friends can download them and upload them, and you can share and stuff. So if you're building a habitat and you're like, oh, I really need like a good viewing hut for my pygmy hippos, for example, and you're struggling to make it.
People do want them. It sounds specific.
Yes, it is, yeah. And then if you're struggling to make that, then you could look on the Frontier Workshop, see if anybody else has uploaded one, and then download that and then use it in your park. So it just gives you that flexibility to either, go piece by piece construction and really go to town on your own buildings, or if you need to get something up and running nice and quickly, you can use some pre-built stuff from the workshop as well. Yeah,
so you can create something absolutely beautiful, even if you're worried about your own abilities. Don't worry, because I assure you the Planet Zoo creators will have you covered.
Yes, I think a couple of mine
will not be available. I've seen what Tom's been building at his desk. You really... I mean, it did, in fairness, it had trees.
It had
trees. Put some trees.
There was some
trees.
It
was pretty.
Nice. There was some foliage.
What about then, because we know that this game has now come into console with the controller scheme. Yep. The dev team have done a lot of work to make it feel really intuitive and beautifully mapped to a controller. Yes. But what if I want to play mouse and keyboard on console?
Well, you can do just that. You can plug in and you can play with mouse and keyboard. So again, it's just all about giving players options, basically, of how they want to play, how they want to, build their parks and zoos and stuff. So yeah, you can use a mouse and keyboard.
And while we know people have been really, really excited for Planet Zoo to come to console, we don't want to forget about our Planet Zoo PC players. What about these people? Because I think some of our community might be worried that this could mean the end for Planet Zoo PC?
Yes, we've seen a lot of comments about this. Can't say too much right now, but I don't think we are quite done yet with PC. So
there you go.
That's all I'll say.
That's Posy vibes. We like it.
Yes,
Feel good about it. We don't have anything to announce, but we think you'll still be happy with us.
Yeah.
Which is all we want at the end of the day, right?
Exactly.
Just want you to be happy with us. Well, Tom, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you for answering some of those community questions as well. I know when we have a big announcement, it's really, really exciting, but it's nice to be able to come in and clearly confirm a few new things as well. So yeah, Planet Zoo will be coming to console on March 26th, available digitally for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X. It is available now to pre-order, and of course you've also got the game itself, Deluxe Edition, and the Season Pass are also available. And if you're still not sure what's quite right for you, we do have an FAQ available on the Planet Zoo webpage. I think we'll play that trailer one more time, but if you do want to see the gameplay, don't worry, in the next episode of Frontier Unlocked, we might have some more information on dates for future DLC, but we will show you some live Planet Zoo console gameplay. Tom, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's see that lemur one more time.
Whoa.
Hello and welcome back. As you may have noticed, I am not Tom, but thank you very much, Tom, for joining us for Planet Zoo. It's really exciting to have a brief little look and answer some questions on that wonderful title that's coming to release this year. Now, if you just joined us, where have you been? You've missed the first sort of half of the show. Well, first bit of the show anyways. This is Frontier Unlocked, where we talk all things Frontier, the games that are coming up. We've got some news and games that are imminent to be released, and we've also got some prizes to be won. So right at the start of the show, we sort of showed this entire horde of prizes to my left. So we've got a keyboard, we've got a Chaos Gate painting kit, we've got a Corsair headset, we've got some drinking bottle, we've got what do you call it, a lunchbox, a hat, a beanie. We've also got a 4K monitor, we've got a gauntlet. All that stuff can be won. But how, you might ask? Well, very simply. So in the chat, it's Twitch only, unfortunately, but it's in the chat, ! Unlocked. For your chance to win that entirety I've just spoke about there, and probably anything else I find in the back of this sofa we might chuck in as well. But just to welcome you all to the Unlocked show, ! Unlocked, and you'll be, we'll choose a winner at random towards the end of the show. So stick around to find out if you are successful. Also, if you are joining us, there are Twitch drops that are live and running for Elite Dangerous, where you can win or earn some incredible iceberg paint jobs for your ships. There's 4 in total that you'll be earning just for watching 20 minutes of the show. And again, if you're an Elite Dangerous fan, stick around because we have got some exciting news for you later on. Now, after the cute stuff that is animals, right? Well, how do you follow that? Well, I'll tell you what, you go the other end of the spectrum and you go 40K and we talk about Chaos Gate Demon Hunters. And welcome back, Paul.
Hello.
The man that shares the same barber as me. We are here today to talk about the wonderful Warhammer 40,000 Chaos Gate Demon Hunters.
Which is a very short thing to say.
It's a very small title. So this is also coming to consoles. And this is one, again, when we were doing the initial launch for this on PC, it was often the most asked question we had was, please, can you bring it to console?
Just a few times mentioned, only occasionally, not every single social post.
No, but it is coming to console, which is fantastic, and it's available to pre-order right now. So it's available on February the
20th.
So it's 20 days' time. So we are pretty close for this being available in your hands. It's coming to Xbox Series S and X. It's coming to PS5. It's coming to PS4, and it's coming to Xbox One.
Yes.
I think that's everything said, and I think I've got that roughly about right in the right order. Now, you can pre-order it. If you pre-order it now, you get a 15% discount, but you also get access to some really cool stuff. That you get let me get the names right here, Paul, because I am terrible with names. I'm cheating, right, chat? I'm going to cheat. So you get the Relics of Titan. That bit's easy. It's this bit that I struggle with. It's the Domina Libra Demonica. And you also get the Destroyer of Chrysalics, which is the easier one. Domina Libra. That's I've already got it wrong. You'll get those items free. You can also purchase the Purifier edition, where you get the Castellan Crow. Comes with
Garen Crow.
Garen Crow, yeah.
Wonderful black sword of thingy.
Antwer, yeah. The Black Sword of Antwer. He's a really cool character, and actually that sword is a sword that is possessed by a demon, and only he can hold that sword. And it's a really, really cool. He's a really cool character, of which you'll meet several of in the game. But that's also available to pre-order right now. So if you are interested in Chaos Gate, you can. Now, we are going to actually play through the game, because the game is pretty much ready to go, right? So we are going to be playing through a mission. Paul's probably going to terrify me, because Paul does this on a mission when we play through. And we're going to talk about how this game plays and how it might be familiar to some people that are used to turn-based strategy games, but how it also differs and is unique. Yeah. So we're going to be playing through an actual mission. So Paul, you're going to get started. We can talk through some of this stuff here. The squad's ready to go. We've got some gameplay. I think producer Adam is there going to flick it up. There we go. There's our squad.
Our starting lineup. We've got all 4 of the basic initial classes you can get. So we have our Justicar, which is our heavy hitter tank, our Purgator, which is our ranged specialist, an Interceptor, which is our Zippy Boy. It's the only way I can really describe
Zippy Boy.
them.
Yep.
Zippy Boy. I think that is the best way to describe them. And we have our Apothecary, who is our healing friend. Now,
when you say healing friend, for those of you looking at the Apothecary, on his arm there is a rather large
Narcisium.
Yes, and it looks really painful. But in fact, is the way he hurts. He hurts the enemy and helps his friends.
He drills into their chest to make them feel better. Basically what he does.
There we go. Welcome to 40K, everyone. If you're not familiar with the setting, nothing is friendly, everything is painful. But welcome. So this is your squad. So we're going to jump straight into a mission. Just as we go in, this is a turn-based strategy game, and you can. There's a lot to this. So this is one element of it. Obviously, you have the Baleful Edict, which is your ship. I'll give an overview whilst you load in, Paul. So basically, the premise behind this is, for those of you who understand the lore, the nefarious forces of Nurgle are infecting a sector of the Imperium with a plague called the Bloom. Now, this is the forces of Nurgle are led by a demon Primarch called Mortarion. Mortarion was the Primarch of the I've forgotten, the Death Guard. The Death Guard. And so Nurgle is kind of like all about rot and decay. So this Bloom is spreading throughout this sector, and of course our job as the Grey Knights is to stop it. And the Grey Knights are a sort of specialist chapter within the Imperium, chapter 666 no less, and they are specifically designed to hunt demons, hence the name Demon Hunters. And you are a force commander looking after a squad who had just returned from a particularly rough mission, and where you're sort of joined by an Inquisitor and asked to assist in investigating the Bloom. So there's a lot of stuff going on in this game, and we're showing you one element of it. So whilst Paul sort of will go through this and how you move around in a second, and there are other elements in the game which we'll talk to in a moment. But first off, it looks great. This is it running on, we're playing on PS5, right?
5, yeah.
Yeah, this is actual PS5 gameplay. Paul, talk us through what you're going to do. Please don't terrify me like you do every time you play this game, and just play it safe.
I refuse. So we're playing essentially the first mission after the tutorial. We've landed on the planet Koramar, which is our first attempt to investigate signs of corruption. So Bakir has turned up and gone, hey, sort out this thing.
That's exact dialogue, by the way.
Exact dialogue, totally to the script. So how it plays out is each of your units has what's called action points, and you get 3 of them. And those are used up in a number of ways. They include moving, they include performing abilities, or they include shooting a cultist repeatedly in the forehead until it dies.
Yep.
So you can see on the screen here, there's a little number 2 where I'm currently. That's indicating that once I've moved, I would still have 2 points remaining. But I'm quite far away from the enemy, so
here we go, chat. Here we go. Look, he's going to do it again, and
I'm going to go all the way over here. Now you can see there's a little shield has appeared here.
Yep.
That means that I've got an element of cover. So cover does play into this. It will help you not get shot. But let's move our Grey Knight and see if I've alerted the enemy. It's good, we're fine. The enemy hasn't been told where we are. Arthur can avoid having a heart attack.
Brilliant, thank you, Paul. So a lot of this, if people have played other turn-based strategy games, you'll see a lot of the stuff on screen. It will be familiar to you, but there's some bits on here that are kind of unique to us. So we've just had a little ping there that indicating that we've detected forces
there, yeah.
on the Auspex, which is basically like their sort of motion tracker kind of thing. They know something's over there. A couple of things about the Grey Knights that you're going to see in a moment. Right in the middle of the screen, right at the top in purple, there's a warp.
Oh, the warp surge indicator.
The warp surge indicator. Now you've got to keep a close eye on this. Early game, it's not too bad, but basically the Grey Knights they're practitioners. They use psychic abilities and stuff like that. But whenever you mess with the Imperium, or the warp, that meter goes up. And when it reaches 100%, some real funky stuff can happen. And none of it is good. Surprise, surprise, chat. None of it is good for your squad. So as you're using your psychic abilities, you've really got to pay attention, especially sort of late game or mid to late game. Paul, I'm talking specifically to you about when you're enhancing your squad, because overuse can really see you go from being in control of the situation to being quite the pickle.
And you've also only have a limited amount of your willpower as well, so you don't want to spam it all in one go. You want to try and be careful. If you've played sort of similar style games before, a lot of them focus very much on defensive gameplay. This game actually rewards you a little bit more with being aggressive, which is why Arthur is so terrified when he watches me play.
I'm a coward. I like to sit behind things and wait.
I'll show you. This might alert the enemy, so let's go ahead. Oh no. It's the enemy's turn now. You can see it's now risen by 15%, the bloom there. So we've still got time to avoid the nasty side effects. But let's move this is our interceptor. Let's get him over here and see if that tells us where the enemy are. Oh no.
Still
move
silence.
Everyone a little closer.
No news is good news, Paul. That's what I like to say. If I could do a whole mission where I just ran around and nothing happened, my inner coward would be very happy.
There we go. And we have encountered some cultists. These are the crazy lunatics who think that worshipping the god of plague is a good idea.
What's the worst that could happen, Paul?
What is the worst that could happen other than your eyeballs melt through your face?
That's a pretty bad thing, actually. Yeah. So one thing to note here, and you'll notice with how this game sort of plays true to sort of 40k lore, if you're into your 40k, The armour that they wear is not just it's not just for you to look at. So one of our, I think it's the Justicar might be wearing Terminator armour. He will move slower, will not be able to just jump and leap as far as the other Space Marines. You won't see him sort of rolling around the battlefield. Whereas the other Space Marines or Grey Knights in the powered armour are a little bit more nimble, and it does affect their movement as well, their movement speed. The other thing to notice here, like Paul said, this does sort of embrace aggressive gameplay, which is very much the Space Marine mantra. They don't really hide. Cover is effective, and you should use it, but they're not scared about taking a shot or two. Hence the reason they walk around in armour that's often painted in bright colours, because they don't care. Yeah. So what we got here, Paul? We're having a look at one of the cultists.
I'm showing you one of the cultists here. This is where you can see their sort of base stats. You can see what ability they've got. So this one has a thing called Overwatch, which they'll set up in a sort of stance to fire at anything that moves into their range of fire. And you've got Hunker Down, which is where they will try and increase their armour by sort of ducking down. Doesn't really help against the massive firepower of the Grey Knights, but it can be a thing. So I've moved my Purgator, and I'm going to shoot him with my gun.
So the one thing you're going to notice here, before we click on this, we will let you get into the mission, but we don't want to keep stopping you. But one thing about this game is different. Space Marines are incredibly trained individuals. Yes. They are literally grown and trained and altered to be the ultimate fighting force, and the Grey Knights almost the pinnacle of that. When they say they're going to hit something, they hit it. Yes. So there is no sort of, if there's no 95% chance to hit and you miss, if the Grey Knight will tell you, yeah, I can hit that thing and I can do this much damage. So you will know as Force Commander exactly what the damage is you're going to do. So yeah, it's pay attention to what you've got and then look at how you're using your resources when you're spending them. You
do still have some element of random when it comes to critical damage. Mm-hmm. So this particular shot here, you can see this is just direct damage. But for certain attacks, for example, the Interceptor has, they can do critical damage with their Falchion weapons. You will see, I believe it's a yellow bar bit, and that indicates the red is definitely what you'll take, whereas the yellow is what you might take. Yep. Now, you can see at the bottom here of this targeting screen, there's the option to do a Psychic Onslaught. This is one of the special Psychic or Psyker powers of the Grey Knight Purgator, which is this particular weapon, which is the Psy Cannon. What that will do is he will essentially empower it with psycho energy to do damage in a range. There's no one really near this one, so it's not really point wasting it, but it'll come into play later, I think. So let's just shoot this person now. He's annoyingly still alive, but it did hurt. And we now have our Interceptor. Let's show off his ability.
So you carry on playing, Paul, and I'll talk through the things that I'm saying. So as you noticed there, as Paul was moving around the Interceptor, you saw these little sort of faint blue lines that went out. So that will tell you what the Interceptor actually, when he stops, what will be in his line of sight, which is really useful when you're moving units around, so you don't move into a position and then realise, oh, actually, I can't fire at people. Yeah. So Paul is now going to
teleport an Interceptor,
which is one of their unique abilities, right? So he's now he's teleported.
The Interceptor can get the ability to teleport, which means I can now go up and I can stab one of these in the face. Let's pick on this one, and I'm not going to bother a force strike. I'm just going to go and stab him.
There we go. Well, that was enough. That was enough. He's very dead.
And the other advantage is because I killed him in melee, you'll notice I've got my willpower point back from my teleport.
Okay.
Because every time you kill someone in melee, it gets that bit back.
So again, there are layers upon layers of strategy when you're playing this game. So at first glance, it will seem like a turn-based, as you've always played before, but there are many, many layers of strategy to Chaos Gate Demon Hunters. And as Paul plays through the first part of this mission, I'll talk about some of the other elements within the game. So one of the things we can't show you just because of time constraints of the show, you have the strategy where you're actually looking around the sector in the Baleful Edict, which is your ship. And there are planets within that sector. All of them are coming under sort of threat from the bloom. And it's your job to try and manage as best you can that bloom outbreak. And you can lose planets to the bloom. And if you lose too many planets to the bloom, obviously the game is over and the Imperium of Man is very much at risk. That's one level of strategy you have to manage. So what planets you're going to and when. And then obviously they have the risks available to them. So if you don't go to a planet and leave it, the threat level gets higher and higher. The enemies you face there are harder and harder. So that's one element. Then you have the Baleful Edict itself. So you have to obviously not giving away too many plot spoilers, or the game has been out for a little while. You start the ships in a bit of a bad way. It's been a bit banged up. So you have to sort of work out which areas of your ship you're going to repair first and foremost, and the benefits they will add to your squad. You might want to have an ability to heal your Grey Knights. You might have more weapons damage and stuff like that. All that stuff's in there. You as the Force Commander have to work out what you do and what you do first. And then, of course, there's your Grey Knights themselves, who, as they go through the game, get experience. And they have each one has a unique skill tree, and you can build your Grey Knights as you want in a particular build.
And there's lots of options you can choose as well. For example, the Apothecary, you could focus on healing people, or you could focus on causing bleed damage and make them into quite effective damage over time units. I'm just going to show off one of the grenades.
Okay, yeah.
Because you have grenade abilities that, as you can see here, you can see they have effect. But if I've angled this correctly, this may actually end up quite badly for the cultist. I may also have angled it badly, but we shall see.
He's very precariously placed, Paul. I see your tactic.
Oh, he didn't fall.
He didn't fall off.
So
he didn't
annoying.
fall off. Unlucky. But one thing that leads on to, actually, as you finish this guy off, one thing about this game, which is also really unique to Chaos Gate Demon Hunters, is the fact that the environment really does play an important part. So there's lots of stuff you'll see in the environments. There's not all of it's just for show. The environments are beautifully realised from the 40k universe, but you will see there are elements within it that you can utilise for a tactical advantage. So you might see these grandiose pillars or statues that you just see that are littered around this sort of beautifully gothic universe. But you can actually run into these. As a Grey Knight, for those of you who don't know, they're about, I'd say, between 7 to 9 foot tall, depending on what armour they're in. They're basically tanks, and they can run into walls, doors. They don't really knock, they just push them down. If anyone's old enough to remember Count Duckula, they're basically Nanny. A really, really heavily armed Nanny from Count Duckula.
That is a reference that very few people in the chat will get.
Someone in chat will get it.
I've just used the Apothecary there to heal one of my units, so you can see how you can do that in the game.
Cool. Nice. So there we go. So they can run into pillars, and they can tip the pillars onto enemies. You can shoot braziers that will ignite the floor. You can, obviously, there are the synonymous red barrel, which everyone knows is dangerous. No matter where you are, in what game or genre, a red barrel means bad.
And there's also oil patches on the ground that you can set on fire.
There's lots of things to go on within sort of the tactical mission mode of Chaos Gate Demon Hunters. So there we go. So Paul is now moving on, taking on some cultists. What are these?
These are Poxwalkers, and Vikir is going to talk to us about them in a second. Come on, Vikir.
They're literally modelled after me first thing in the morning, Paul.
Oh, okay, so still have tutorial enabled. Never mind, ignore that tooltip. So yeah, these are essentially they're zombies. Basically, they're the dead rearranged. I believe they're actually servitors originally that have been sort of corrupted. So it's not. I don't think it's a case of actual reanimation. More the servitors are a wonderful bit of Warhammer lore that everyone should look up to see quite how nice the Imperium is.
Yeah, I mean, as I will reiterate, chat, that nothing is nice in 40k. There are no good guys. I don't think there's any one good guy. No one can say they're a good guy in 40k. Not one race, no one's good. Nobody is good. In fact, I'd argue that the Tyranids are probably the nicest, because at least they do exactly.
They're up front.
They're up front with what they're doing. They're going to eat everything. So I align with that. I'm okay with that sort of mentality. All right, so we're going to take on some of these Poxwalkers. Are we going to use maybe one of the abilities for these guys?
I'm seeing if I can do that. Yeah, we're going to use the Psycannon Blast, which I pressed the wrong button for. And I think that's killed pretty much all of them. Yep,
yes,
all of them gone.
Nicely done.
And I believe that's the mission complete.
There we go. So let's just check my timings for you, Paul. We're running a bit
far too fast.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So there we go. So that's a mission. I'm probably talking over Brother Hector, but there's lots of stuff we haven't spoken about. There's so much in this game. Obviously, Andy Serkis provides the voice for
Grandmaster Varden
Kai. Obviously, there's if you know your Final Fantasy, there's one of the voice actors from there.
I believe her name is Robin Addison. She plays Yusholtha in Final Fantasy XIV. She was also Sarah in Dragon Age Inquisition.
So it's got there's some nice talent in here for the game. There's a fantastic story by Dan Abnett. So the whole thing is sort of steeped in 40k lore. It really is a fantastic game. Paul and I spent hours and hours and hours playing this when it first came out. So pleased to see it come to console and realised in such a wonderful way that it has been again.
And it means I can get achievement points.
Yes, for Paul and I, who are filthy console scrubs, we need our achievements. So we're gonna play through this again on well, I'm playing on Xbox. Yeah, it's great to see this coming out. It will be February the 20th. You can pre-order it now. you'll get 15% discount on all those wonderful weapons from the Relics of Titan. So don't forget that. And also there is the Purify Edition where you will get to grips with the Castellan Garen Crow, who is a really cool unit. The game is fantastic. There's so much I want to talk about. I can't, short in time. Holly's waving at me. I need to do my hair and makeup before we do the next segment. Let's play the trailer again. Paul, thank you so much for joining me. I always love playing games with you because it makes my adrenaline go through the roof. So we'll be back in a short moment. Enjoy that trailer one more time. Thank you.
Commander, with every passing day, the corruption grows stronger. Send your squad to the surface.
Commander, prepare to engage.
And we are back, and yes, Commanders, it's finally your turn. I've been reading the chat while these guys were playing. It is almost time to talk about what's coming for Elite. Arthur is like barely containing it because there's an awful lot to talk about, but two very quick things. First of all, Twitch drops are active. You need to watch for 20 minutes to unlock 4 iceberg skins for Elite. There is a reason we're streaming in the Elite category, even though, as someone pointed out, you're not streaming Elite. It's because you need to be streaming in a game category in order to give away Twitch drops. So for this stream, that's why the entirety of Frontier Unlocked has been done in the Elite category. And also, we are closing the competition now, and Adam will pick a winner for us to announce at the end of this live stream. Without further ado, Commanders, let's go to Arthur. Please tell us all about the Elite news.
Well, first off, spoilers. I've won the competition. I just checked with Adam. He's just said, actually, bizarrely, I won it. So 07, welcome, Commanders. We have got some news for Elite Dangerous. So there's lots to talk about. There's actually something I'm going to show you today, which I don't think many of you are going to be expecting to see. So
no, I've read the comments. I think I've seen maybe one person said this would be cool.
Oh, okay. Well, for that one person, you were right.
I haven't guessed.
So there's a couple of things to talk about. First and foremost, though, I'll be remiss not to mention young Zach has returned to Elite Dangerous. He is actually on holiday, otherwise he would be sat here. So you'd actually have someone who's a lot younger with more hair would be in this position. I'd be asking Zach some questions. But Zach is on holiday, a well-earned holiday, but he has returned to Elite Dangerous. Very much like Darth Vader, he's returned far more powerful than when he left. So welcome back, Zach. Thank you very much. Also, huge shout out to, before we go into all this cool stuff that I'm about to talk about, huge shout out to the development team at Frontier who've been working on Elite Dangerous for 10 years, producing some great content. And for the content we're about to talk about briefly, it's wonderful to see this working in the wild. So I guess I should start talking about it, really.
Honestly, they've been feral.
I feel bad because I feel like I'm now hanging on. Right, okay. So a couple of things we're going to go through. So the first thing we're going to talk about is Update 18. So Update 18 will be coming along. Now, Update 18 will allow players to bring a culmination of the Thargoid War. Now, that's been running now for on and off, I'd say about a year, probably a bit more, actually. Where we've seen some really cool things happen in the Thargoid War. We've seen, obviously, we have the Titans, but the whole premise of them coming in on the Thargoids and people having a look at that. We've seen the Spires, the Revenant, we've seen the various, the Glaive and the Orthus, the name I can't spell of that ship that's come in. It's been great to watch our commanders go out and engage with this sort of really, it's a spectacle. To see what the development team have done is an absolute spectacle. Update 18 will allow commanders to finally take the fight to the behemoths that are the Titans. So again, I'll be very direct, but I'll be very honest. I didn't lie to you about how cool the Titans were. I won't lie to you about this. What you will be able to do in Update 18 is supremely cool. I've seen it. It's fantastic. As a player first, I really, really enjoyed what the dev team have done. However, what I am going to say to you is, very much like the Titans, we want you, the commanders, to experience this. This is something you have worked towards. This is something you've been fighting for, and we're not going to spoil it by showing it right now, but it'll be something you'll be able to get through at some point when you work it all out. But Update 18 will bring you the means to finally take the fight to the big boys, the Titans. So really, really excited to see what players do and how long it takes you to figure it all out. And whoever does it first, I guess, is the thing I'm looking forward to. So that's Update 18. So then, obviously, what comes after Update 18? Well, update 19. What could update 19 possibly contain? Well, I've seen a lot of chat, people saying, well, you know what they're never going to talk about? They're never going to talk about power play. Never, ever, ever, ever going to talk about power play. Well, you'd be wrong. Because update 19, which will be coming sometime in the summer, will contain a full reworking of power play, which we're actually calling, imaginatively, Power Play 2.0. So that will be coming along. The team have taken a long time working this through. It's not an easy thing just to rework a system like Power Play. So for long-term players of Elite Dangerous, I'm sure this will come with some great news to you. There's been a lot of thought gone into this. A lot of really, really smart development minds have gone through to look at what works for Power Play, what players are frustrated with, what makes it inaccessible, to make it accessible. And they've come up with a really cool system. And I'm really, really excited to see players to hear about it in more detail, which we'll cover in an Unlocked nearer the time, because it will take a segment on its own. Yeah. I would do it a massive injustice for me to sit here and sort of blart on about Power Play and the changes to it, because there will be devs that will kick down the door and literally probably set me on fire. They won't do that. They're really friendly here. They won't. So Power Play 2.0 is coming. It's a full rework. It'll be coming in the summer. Update 19 will bring that along. Between update 18 and 19, we're still looking to do the small updates we were doing before. So we're looking at some tweaks and some fixes. That stuff's going to go in. After update 19, well, or maybe, who knows? There's also another feature coming. And this is a new feature. This isn't a rework. This is a brand new feature coming to Elite Dangerous. It's super cool. I had no idea what they were doing with it until I sat through a few months back now and saw the full scope of what they were doing with it. And it's really, really cool. I really, like, as a player, I dig it. For a lot of our players, it's going to be, oh, yes, this is going to be really, really fun for us to do. Again, it's coming this year, all right? So I'm not going to say to you, oh, at some point, it's coming this year. We have to work through exactly the timings because, you know, it's really important we get this right. And we have to give the right amount of time for us to sit down and go through and talk about what this feature entails, what you'll be able to do with it, the new stuff that goes in with it. So really, really excited to see this coming for Elite this year. So that's update 18, end of the Thargoid, well, not end of the Thargoid War, but the ability to end the Titans. I'll say it. You've got update 19, Power Play 2.0. You've got interim updates. You've got a brand new feature. And that's not it, though.
No, that's not it.
That's not it.
More.
There's more. We hear it a lot. We see it a lot. And it's not just, obviously, people talking about Power Play. One of the things people ask about is ships. People say, like, you know, were we going to get a new ship in Elite Dangerous? Yeah, you are. We're going to, it's not just the devs that have been really busy, and they have been really, really busy. Some of our manufacturers in game have been really busy. For example, I'm going to show you one of the variants that's coming to the game.
Chat has literally, like now I'm blinking and I can't keep up.
This is a shout out to Chris Gregory, by the way, and the wonderful art team are working on Elite Dangerous. We're going to show you a concept render of the Python Mark II. And she is a beautiful. There she is. That is her. Now, for the Eagle Eye Commanders, she is a variant in more than just name. So yes, she looks beautiful. She will be functionally different as well. There is the other shot of the Python. The rear end, the engine shot, everyone.
Some people really enjoy those.
Yeah, I do. And now, look, everyone who knows me knows that I am a chieftain. Yeah. I stand the chieftain. However... Goodbye,
chieftain.
I don't want to say that
Friendship
right now.
ended. New best friend, Python Mark II.
Listen, it's not her, it's me. I'm going to have to move on.
We've been saying that for years.
So this is obviously something the team have been working very, very hard on to get this into the game. We know it's something you really, really want. Again, not only does it look stunning, I'll reiterate it, these will be functionally different to the ships that are in the game. And there's a lot of reasons for that, and we're going to let players discover that. And it's really, really cool. And this ship will be coming relatively soon within sort of this year. One of at least 4 planned this year. So as we go through Unlocked, we will start teasing these out to you as these variants come in across the year. There's a lot of stuff going on in Elite Dangerous. Sometimes we're quiet, but sometimes the guys are just really, really busy working on some really, really cool stuff. And I very nearly swore then, but I didn't, chat, so I'm really proud of myself.
We're all grown-ups here, it'll be okay.
I nearly swore because I've seen a lot of stuff they're working on, and it is super cool. We'll be very, very excited to share more. one of the things that's really cool about what we do with Elite Dangerous is the work the community do. And part of that is the partnership program, which I know obviously Holly and the wonderful Kat is working on at the moment. So, Holly, do you want to tell us about the partner program as well?
Yeah, this feels like after talking about the Python, but I'll try and pick it back up. So yeah, we do have the Elite Partner Program. We have some of the most amazing content creators, and Kat has been leading the charge on this, and some of our creators have been working with Kat now for quite a while. The Elite Partner Program is a program that content creators for Elite, so Twitch streamers, YouTubers, etc., can sign up to be a part of. You can find more information at influencers.frontier.co.uk. It's an intake where we do one in the winter, one in the summer, and those elite content creators that are entered into the program, well, first of all, you do get some cool goodies. There's the Elite skateboard deck, just down there. You get the jacket. You do get information a little bit early.
We like to tease.
There have been some chances to meet the developers in the past and, you know, come to some presentations. But we also do Twitch drops. So you've got the Iceberg Twitch drop is live right now for this. But at 7:30 p.m. UK time, which should be any minute now, the next round of Twitch drops for the Elite Partner Program will be going live, which is the ice sheet. And I said sheet. Drops. Those will be available. There are 2 that will be exclusive to people who are in the Elite Partner Program. If you watch their streams, you'll be able to get them. But 2 of them are available for anybody who wants to stream Elite. So whether you're in the program or not, and you want to get into streaming Elite on Twitch, you can link your account for Twitch drops, and you will have 2 Twitch drops available for your community when they watch you. So yeah, the Elite Partner Program, we're now moving to twice a year intake. We've just welcomed our latest members. So if you're watching, thank you so much. The next intake will be in the summer. So yeah, influencers.frontier.co.uk, navigate to the Elite section, and you can find information all about the Elite Partner Program.
There we go. Thank you, Holly. Yeah, and so it's a great way to get involved in streaming. If you want to sort of build your channel, and those sort of free Twitch drops will really help you do that. You've got something there to encourage people in. So please, please, please come in. I think we've given you a little bit to talk about and speculate on for Elite Dangerous. I'm really pleased, and as a fan, as a player, just for the community and everyone, that is the news I could give you today. And there might be a little bit more later on, but that's for me to know and you to find out. Right. Wowzers. We've covered a fair old bit. Should we talk about who's won the prize? Do you know who's won?
I don't know yet. I'm waiting for producer Adam to put it up on the screen. But while he does that, just obviously Frontier Unlocked, this isn't a one-off show. This is a new monthly show. It's happening on the last Wednesday of every month, where we will have new announcements, first looks, more information. We are just starting to gather steam with Frontier Unlocked. We hope to have great things for this, and for it to be a great place to learn about everything across the Frontier library of games. Not just one, but all of them. So we hope that you'll continue to join us for them. We can only make these better with your support, and we're actually really, really excited about what we're doing with these. Right. Piglet's Last Stand, which is absolutely an incredible username. Piglet's Last Stand, you are the winner of all of those prizes. We will DM you to get your details. So please check your DMs, because you can't wait forever, Piglet's Last Stand. So congratulations on winning all of those prizes.
You won a lot.
You've won a lot. But honestly, thank you to everybody, especially to the commanders. Really appreciate you guys being in chat. You know, watching, waiting, listening.
Yeah.
But we hope with further shows there'll be even more information and we can expand upon things for you. And yeah, make something you're really proud of.
Yes. All right. Okay. So I guess we're getting towards the end of our first ever Unlocked. I am really stoked that, you know, we're opening this year, our 30th year at Frontier, with a new show, a new style.
Yep.
We have opened where we're talking about Chaos Gate Demon Hunters coming February the 20th. We've got Planet Zoo coming to consoles on the 26th of March.
Yep.
We've talked about a return of F1 Manager coming later this year. More news on that soon.
Yep.
We've talked about all the cool stuff coming to Elite Dangerous. We've got Update 18. We've got Update 19, Powerplay 2.0. We've got a brand new feature. We've got 4 new ships. We've got Twitch drops. And there is still that other game chat that's coming this year, announced and released. Frontier is back, baby. We never went away. We're excited. We love you. We'll see you on the next one. Last Wednesday of the month. See you there. Thanks, Holly.
I felt in Farlon Sales like the visuals often were a reason for players to pick up the game, but they ended staying for the music. For Changing Tides, it's sort of a companion title. It's not a direct sequel, but it has a lot in common with it, I would say. The main thing being the vehicle and you as the character going on the journey with that vehicle. Only this time it's this vast landscape that is flooded, and you're on your journey on the water. And I think the whole water element is something that's really new compared to Far Lone Sails.
On the sound design level, like working in a flooded world has brought quite some challenges, especially because almost every sound had to like dynamically react to whether the player was subsurface or oversurface.
The second game has a bigger environment. It feels bigger, and therefore my goal was also to make the instrumentation way bigger and to make to find the instruments who can make you feel like you're underwater. That was a whole new journey also for me, and it was kind of fun to explore and to find those sounds that would match to the underwater world.
In Far Lone Sails, we used to have a very clear like system on when there was going to be music and when there was going to be more sound design present. And I think in Far Changing Tides, we had to kind of figure out how these work together, because the hubs the player encounters during the game are more elaborate. So we needed to have also some musical support to really make those hubs work on an emotional level.
Yeah, I think on top of having kind of a dynamic soundtrack that reacts on what the player do, in best case, sound design and music will react dynamically to one on each other. So there's a moment where one can shine and the other one goes into the background, and then it kind of shifts. And that's always what we try to do, and kind of find the balance in between both.
We use music as a system to both reward the player, but also guide them to help them understand the puzzles they go through.
Both can help and motivate the player. So sound design can give you a direct answer to what you're doing, whether it's right or wrong, and it's the same with the soundtrack. If like music can build up when you're coming closer to the conclusion of that special little riddle that you have in the hub. I think both have the same kind of, or in our case, sometimes the same job to do.
One thing we wanted to add in Changing Tides is to also tell a bit of the story during or with the music, or about the themes in the game, and sort of what cultures are living in this world. And we wanted to make it possible that the player can sort of hear in what kind of environment they are. Those music themes are repeated then to give sort of the feeling of oh yeah, I've seen that, I've experienced that before, and the player can connect that with their previous experiences.
I'm kind of addicted to new sounds. I'm constantly searching for weird instruments that kind of surprise me with their sound quality, because I have a tendency to work a bit, or want to work a bit like a child. Just to explore stuff, and then I can take the most fun out of my work.
Before we talked about like really the dynamic of sound, we thought a lot about like what were the really key moments for the players, both story-wise, but also in terms of like player progression, new special features the player unlocks, or features they lose along the game. And it was clear that those moments had to be like musically supported to really push the emotion we wanted the players to have during those moments. But other than that, we think about the key moments of, let's say, a puzzle where there's punishment maybe if the player does something wrong, or there's a reward for doing something right.
I think it's important to make this connection between the music and the gameplay, and in this case that you sort of the music reacts dynamically to the gameplay actions is a very satisfying reward if you make something right, or just if you keep doing something right, like sailing in the wind with the ship. So the first scene we are talking about is the moment where Tow, or the player, sees the ship hanging in this big factory building, and then how he manages to bring it down into the water and to make it ready to continue to sail outwards of this building. And we wanted to have this moment where you see only parts of the ship, because we wanted to make it feel very, very big, and so you're going into this dark room and you just sort of have to figure out what it actually is by moving around it.
One thing that we kind of learned from the first game was building up the anticipation for the player before he actually encounters the ship, and I think this is something that we've done again this time, where the music also kind of supports this feeling of mystery, of okay, there's something waiting for you just around the corner.
Also, interestingly, that the sound effect or the music is one of the points in the game where it's really hard to tell if it's actually a sound effect or music, and like that happens for me. That happens to me all the time when I play it, but also if I see other people play this section, that they sort of, is this the sound of the engine or is this music? And it's really interesting to hear that.
Music is known in film and games as well, to really like being able to support emotion or even enable players to really emotionally engage with the game. But I think what we learned in FAR as well is that giving the player power over the music intensifies this feeling of feeling emotionally engaged and related to the game or the vehicle in the game by such an immense amount.
And I think there's still like thousands of possibilities to encounter how to make dynamic soundtracks in gaming. Even though we dived quite deep into this topic, I think, or it feels to me, and it's not frustrating, it feels to me like we're scratching still on the surface of what is possible to do there, and I'm looking forward to have maybe the possibility to dive in again, or even deeper, I hope.
Video paused. Continue watching. Yes, button. Thanks for confirming. Video progress bar 3 seconds of 1 hour, 1 minute, 4 seconds.
Wow, terminou o evento.
Video progress bar 10 seconds of 1 hour, 1 minute, 4 seconds. Video progress bar 20 seconds of 1 hour, 1 minute, 4 seconds. Video progress bar 31 up next, shuffle, button, repeat, button, shuffle, video progress bar about, button. Video progress bar 51 seconds of 1 hour, 1 minute. Up next, far, changing tides sound waves 2 hyphen, below, frontier, far, changing tides hyphen behind the scenes hyphen, far, change, incoming underscore, shuffle, video progress, about, button.
Satu permintaan. Nem se despedir.
Video progress bar 1 minute, 50.
Initiator Jane. OBS 28.1.2, 64.